long ago, Izzy and the Soul Cauldron ruled. Wait. That's not it. When your man is screwed, you know who to call. Teen Titans! That's not it either. What am I paying myself for? Oh wait, I'm not. Island. Forest. Mountain. Plains. Long ago, the four colors lived together in harmony. Then, nothing changed when the mono-red aggro attacked. Only the Avatar set, bringing in 4 new mechanics, could save them, but when Magic needed it most, it wasn't released yet. In 5 days, they'll pre-release the new Avatar set. And although your drafting skills are great, you need to know which mechanics to take. But after this video, you can win your draft event. Ladies and gentlemen, that Technicolor rainbow in between, I'm the research assistant. The upcoming release of the new Avatar The Last Airbender set brings 4 new mechanics into the game of Magic the Gathering. Airbending, Earthbending, Firebending, and Waterbending. Each mechanic has its benefits and its drawbacks, so you need to know which bending ranks the best when it comes time for your pre-release weekend drafts.
Well, what's your answer?
Zuko, I just started the list. Would you have some cactus juice and relax, please? Coming in at number 4 is Waterbending, the least versatile mechanic in the entire set.
Will you please shut your air hole? Believe it or not, your infinite wisdom gets a little old sometimes.
I'm going to take that infinite wisdom crack as the compliment I know it was meant to be. So if you calm down, I'll explain what I mean by the least versatile.
I'm completely calm!
Sure, Katara. The whole bloodshot bug eyes thing, that really sells you being a cup of hot leaf juice. And just so you don't bloodbend me, let's get back to the point at hand, shall we?
Let's talk about it!
Don't get me wrong, there's some huge payoffs when it comes to waterbending. Secret of Bloodbending potentially lets you control your opponent's next turn. Avatar Karuk allows you to take 2 turns in a row. Unagi even makes your opponent waterbend 4 to target it. There are also cards that take advantage of helping to pay the cost, such as the Tara Bending Prodigy getting stronger at your end step, Compassionate Healer giving you a life and scrying 1, and Grand that lets you draw and discard. But as great as all that is, it's the least versatile because it's only during your turn. Outside of Unagi, most waterbending is done at sorcery speed, which doesn't let you respond to anything your opponent does during their turn or on the stack. And as great as the payoffs can be, there are unrealistic costs that have to be paid to get them. Costs that I don't see a lot of people pulling off during a limited match. If you have 10 or 20 cards on the battlefield to pay the cost, you probably should have won the game already. That's why waterbending comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 on my limited bending list is airbending.
I don't normally play this card, but I'm the Avatar.
Sorry, Aang. You can go ahead and put your Avatar card back in your robe because that doesn't guarantee you the number 1 spot on this list.
That's rough, buddy.
Let's talk then.
Airbending is more versatile than waterbending because there are more instances where airbending can be used in response to a play from your opponent. Thanks to a lot of cards carrying the mechanic either having Flash, like Appa's Steadfast Guardian, Aang's Swift Savior, and Aang's Iceberg, or being instants, like Airbender's Reversal. They allow you to avoid any targeted destruction abilities by responding to airbend them out of the way. And where waterbending suffers from big payoffs at unreasonable costs, airbending has access to a pretty big payoff of its own in Avatar's Wrath. It's like if Wrath of God was passive aggressive. It lets you pick your best threat and blink everything else, then restricts the opponent from playing their airbend cards for a turn. Airbending is more versatile, but the drawback is also in the ability. Airbending is the temporary solution to a long-term problem. Instead of taking care of the threat, airbending just kind of pushes it to the side for a turn. It clears your way, but it also allows your opponent to potentially replay their enter the battlefield triggers for less mana than they originally played it for. Airbending is essentially kicking the can down the road. Coming in at number 2 on my best bending for limited list is fire bending.
What?
I'm confused. Are you upset about your spot on the list, or that I used Azula's picture? Either way,
Let's talk about that.
firebending is less versatile than airbending because the mechanic only triggers during the combat phase, but the reason it comes in above airbending is the potential uses for the mana the mechanic produces. It can be used to pay for instants like lightning strike and cunning maneuver, or it can pay for abilities that can be triggered during the combat phase, like fire sabers. It gives Red the free mana to use as many combat tricks as they can pay for, essentially freeing the player from the burden of choosing between a combat trick or a combatant. Firebending allows the player to do both, but like airbending, the flaw of firebending is baked into the design. The mana only lasts until the end of the combat phase, which means it's use it or lose it unless you're lucky enough to pull an Ozai the Phoenix King or the last Agni Kai to extend the mana until the end of your turn. Getting those makes firebending even better, since you can now use it on whatever you play during your second main phase, but given their rarity, there's no guarantee you'll see either during your draft. Well, if you're keeping score at home, you know what number 1 is. What I believe the best mechanic that you should look for in a draft and pull everything that's possibly related to it is earthbending.
Don't you dunderheads ever forget it!
I believe if you draft enough cards that earthbend your lands, you'll be laughing like the Melon Lord all the way to the winner's circle. On the surface, it may seem less versatile than any of the other bendings because earthbending is typically done at sorcery speed during your turn, but that's about as far away from the truth as Tafa is being a sightseeing guide. One of the issues the drafters face is either drafting not enough creatures or too many. It upsets the mana curve and has the potential to throw the whole deck off. The beauty of earthbending cards is they almost count as both creature and non-creature spells. They often produce bonus bodies, earthbent lands, that are hard to get rid of, and if you don't get rid of them the right way, they just come back as lands, so you lose very little if anything at all. The earthbent lands also lend themselves to some pretty versatile uses. Have to block a flyer, but all your creatures are grounded? Tap an earthbent forest and play pillar launch on the same land to untap it and make it stronger before launching it in the air. Are your opponent's pesky creatures getting you bogged down? No problem. Tap an earthbent swamp and play deadly precision, turning your earthbent swamp back into a land while turning their creature to dust. Worried about where the +1/+1 counters are going? They're going on the back of the buzzard wasp colony you have out already. Having trouble being blocked off from your opponent's life total? No problem. Just earthbend Secret Tunnel and burrow to their life unbothered. Creatures like Boomy Unleashed and Badger Mole Cub give your earthbent land some serious bolstering in the mana and combat departments. And the best part about earthbending, it's not just related to green. There are cards in black and even one in white that give you options to either create a land creature or something else you may need at the time. Out of all 4 mechanics coming to Magic, I believe earthbending will give you the best chance to win your upcoming drafts during this pre-release weekend.
Don't you dunderheads ever forget it!